All right, welcome back. In our last explainer, we saw Wotan finally pull it all together. He synthesized the wisdom of his allies and, it really seemed like he'd secured a future for Neo-Arcadia. But peace, well, as we're about to find out, it's a very, very fragile thing.
So, Wotan's masterpiece, the Emerald Spire, is standing tall. It's this incredible living monument to the power of the will. And after all that conflict, all that struggle, this fragile, kind of authentic silence is finally settled over the wasteland.
But yeah, that hard-won silence, it's about to be shattered. And the weapon that breaks it isn't an army or some physical force. No, it's something way more insidious. It's an idea.
A whole new conflict is dawning. And this is a battle fought not with swords and shields, but with philosophy itself. This is a war for the very definition of reality.
Okay, so here we see the two sides lining up for this new war. On one side, you've got the white judges. They show up as fellow creators to defend Wotan's work, using what they call the twin necessities. That's the joy of Zarathustra's laugh and the suffering of the Nazarene's wound. But on the other side, the red judges emerge from the Twilight web, which is this kind of abstract realm of pure nothingness. And they aren't here to build. They're here to launch a full-on psychological siege.
The weapon the red judges use isn't a bomb, it's an idea. It's called the uncanny equation. Think of it like a philosophical virus. It's designed to prove that the hero, Wotan, is actually no different from the mindless herd he's trying to escape. The equation basically argues that both of them are just building structures to run away from the terrifying void of existence. It's a direct assault on the very concept of meaning itself.
And this philosophical war, well, it's about to get a face. The red judges have chosen their agent, their champion, to carry out their will.
Now, this is not your typical warrior. This is the Crimson Jester. The source material calls him a Faustian Übermensch, kind of like an inverted hero. See, he doesn't bleed strength to create something new the way Wotan did. Instead, he bleeds irony to tear everything down. He's this powerful slave to the belief that meaning itself is just one big joke.
So he confronts Wotan, but not with a weapon. He uses words, corrosive, cutting words. He looks at Wotan's ultimate act of creation, this beautiful spire, and just reframes it as an act of pure fear. Nothing more than a tombstone built by a god who's terrified to die.
He doesn't even need to touch the spire to destroy it. All he has to do is hold up this dangerous and grinning mirror, forcing Wotan to see the cracks in his own foundation, to see how his greatest achievement could so easily become his greatest failure.
And this leads us right to the climax of their confrontation. The jester takes his attack from the world of ideas to the physical world, and this horrifying inversion of the very act that gave birth to the spire in the first place. And with these chilling words, the jester performs this just grotesque parody of Wotan's own miracle. He takes the sacred act of sacrifice and twists it into a profane act of corruption.
So he slices his own palm, just like Wotan did, but his blood is poison. It's thick with what the text calls the spirit of gravity, the very essence of nihilism, and the dust of the herd. So instead of nourishing the spire, it corrupts it from the roots up. The emerald leaves just turn to ash, and the entire structure cracks and splinters apart.
But this isn't just about destruction. Oh no. From the wreckage of Wotan's beautiful monument, something new and absolutely terrible erupts into being. So Wotan's creation wasn't just destroyed, it was transformed into its horrifying opposite. The Emerald Spire, this symbol of life reaching for the heavens, has become the Crimson Temple, an inverted cathedral of bone and blight, dragging everything down into ruin. Ascending the steps of this abomination, the jester turns to Wotan's horrified allies, and he proclaims a new, dark gospel for the flies of the marketplace and for a world that's now suddenly eager to listen.
And this right here is his ultimate declaration, the absolute core of his philosophy. He teaches that any attempt to create something is just weakness, it's just arrogance, and that the only true, pure act is to willingly embrace nothingness. So Wotan is just left there, horrified, watching as his monument to life is warped into a school for his own destruction. It's a temple that's now beckoning the whole world to come learn the gospel of the void. And that leaves us with this terrifying question, doesn't it? How can you build a future when your own creation has become a temple to nothingness?